We are live in Daytona Beach, Florida for Bash at the Beach. And kicking things off tonight, the WCW Tag Team titles will be on the line. Tag champs, the Motor City Machine Guns, defending against the team of WCW World Champion R-Truth and Mr. Money in the Bank, Cody Rhodes. And yes, Truth and Cody, they are good friends. But what makes this partnership here tonight a little more interesting, Cody has already announced that he will be cashing in that Money in the Bank briefcase at Summerslam to challenge his good friend Truth for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And it was actually Cody Rhodes who suggested this match here tonight for them to team up, go after the WCW Tag Team titles, and the champs, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, more than happy and more than up for the challenge. They make their way to the ring, and this one about to get underway. That is what is on the line, the WCW Tag Team Championships. The Motor City Machine Guns, who have held those tag titles for over 7 months since winning them back at Starrcade. This may not be the biggest defense that they've had, but maybe the most unorthodox, as they are not taking on a traditional team in Alex Shelley. This one officially underway. Bash at the Beach officially underway. Obviously, we know not only the amount of time that Shelley and Sabin have been here in the open mic universe, they are a team. They have got a lot of experience working together, but you also can't forget the years in other promotions that these two have been a team. They are one of the more finely tuned units you will find in tag team wrestling. And then you've got on the opposite side, Truth and Cody. Cody with a moonsault. With Truth and Cody, obviously Truth, the current world champion, Cody, a former multiple-time world champion. And the fact that they are both veterans, they have been in big matches, but this is a little bit different. You have to rely on another person. You're not in there alone. And sometimes that can be a little bit harder to navigate when you're going against somebody that is an established team. Now, to be fair, Truth, a former one-time WCW Tag Team Champion, and he won that championship on the first time that he teamed with his partner. It was back at the Open Mic Mania show where you guys voted for to mash together a team to challenge for the WCW Tag Team titles. Truth and Shinsuke Nakamura were the top vote getters, and on that night, those two would win the WCW Tag Team titles. And even though that partnership was short-lived, the Strong Truth, as named by our good buddy JR from the New Music Inferno, they did hold those titles, and they are in the record books. Shelley moves out of the way. So far, I've been pretty impressed with what we've seen from Truth and Cody. Now Shelley going to the corner, makes the tag. In comes Chris Sabin. Again, it's going to be interesting. We've got a big match coming up next month at Summerslam between champion R-Truth, assuming that he is still going to be champion at that time, and his challenger, the man that holds the briefcase, Cody Rhodes. And I've been a little bit critical of that decision to announce that cash-in advance. Obviously, Cody, with so much respect for his friendship with R-Truth. And let's be honest, if it wasn't for Cody Rhodes, Truth may not even be WCW champion right now. It was Cody who went to Eric Bischoff and advocated for him to get that shot against AJ Styles. Truth with the cover, but Sabin able to get his shoulder up. What we saw last year in with the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, Bianca announcing in advance that she would be cashing in on Raquel Rodriguez. And that didn't work out too well for the EST because you lose that element of surprise. That's one of the perks of having the Money in the Bank briefcase is you're cashing in when it's most convenient for you. And maybe when it's least convenient for the champion that you're going to cash in on. So we'll find out at SummerSlam if this was the right approach for Cody Rhodes. Sabin not able to get the 3. Cody wants back in. Truth makes the tag. Here comes Cody Rhodes. Cody, no. Sabin cuts Cody off from what could potentially have been a Cody cutter. Kick to the midsection. Truth now back on the apron. Cody up and over. Pin attempt from Cody Rhodes only gets a 1. Now Cody with a little tribute to Stardust, and that allows Sabin to make the tag. Alex Shelley back in. Maybe Cody should have kept his attention on Chris Sabin and cut off the ability for him to tag in a fresh Alex Shelley. Shelley now climbing up top. Cody rolls out of the way. And Shelley sent into the corner. And now Truth coming back in. Truth up top. Flying shoulder tackle for the second time. And now Truth going up top himself. Leg drop off the top rope. Gets Shelley back to his feet. And a reversal, and Truth sent into the corner. Now Shelley working on that left arm of Truth. And Truth with an elbow as he makes his way out of the corner. Again, very impressed with what we've seen from the team of Truth and Cody. Shelley makes the tag. In comes Sabin. Truth with a lie detector hooks the leg. Alex Shelley, he's out on the floor, and that's going to do it. R-Truth and Cody Rhodes, your new WCW Tag Team Champions. In a month, they do battle at SummerSlam for the WCW World Heavyweight title. But tonight, these two friends celebrate being champions. The King of the Ring tournament looked like it was going to be a breakout moment for Oba Femi. He absolutely decimated Logan Paul in round 1. He was on his way to defeating Bronson Reed in the quarterfinals. That is until Logan Paul decided to show up and make his presence known in that match. Let's take a look back at the King of the Ring quarterfinal matchup between Bronson Reed and Oba Femi. Logan Paul entering the ring with a chair. The referee doesn't even see it. Bronson Reed, his near lifeless body crawling over, draping his arm over Oba Femi, and getting the 1-2-3 and moving on to the semifinals. Here tonight at Bash at the Beach, the Maverick is going to have to contend with the Ruler, who gets this thing started with a running clothesline. I believe that first round match in the King of the Ring tournament, I don't know that we saw one bit of offense out of Logan Paul, and so far, we're looking like we're getting a little bit more of the same. Femi up on the second turnbuckle. Shoulder tackle takes down Logan Paul. Oba with a release back suplex. Gets Paul up. Sends him into the ropes. Fall from grace. Hooks the leg. This has got to do it. And it does. Oba Femi While he's not in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament here tonight, he shows his dominance over Logan Paul once again. Up next, it's a triple threat match for the WCW Women's Championship. Champion Jade Cargill will be defending against Naomi and Bayley. Naomi, who got drafted to WCW in this year's draft, felt a little slighted that maybe she wasn't getting the attention that a lot of the other new draftees to WCW were getting. So she took matters into her own hands and attacked both Bayley and Jade Cargill a few weeks back. That opened the door for her to get a shot against Naomi here at Bash at the Beach. But there was one catch. Bayley would have an opportunity to earn her way into this match if she could defeat Jade one-on-one in a non-title match, with Naomi as the special guest referee. WCW management let it be known that if Naomi did not call that match down the middle, and if she in any way cost either woman, then she would be removed from this match, and it would be Bayley and Jade competing one-on-one for the WCW Women's Championship. Naomi did her job. Bayley was victorious, although it did take a countout to get the win. She did earn her way in earlier this week on Thunder, making this a triple threat match. Bayley sent into the corner. Jade now coming in with a kendo stick and cracks Naomi with it. WCW official Eric Bischoff, who's always held the belief that controversy creates cash, kind of appreciated Naomi maybe taking things into her own hands a little bit. And also thinking that Naomi and Jade is a big money match. And what better way than that to have that match than let's add a little more intrigue to it. Can Bayley earn her way in, which she did. Bayley also fairly new to WCW. She also came over in this year's draft, but you know, Bayley had an opportunity to qualify for Money in the Bank. Naomi did. Naomi didn't get any special video package or special announcement about her coming to WCW. And so this is a much different Naomi than we are used to seeing, especially in her time in WWE. And the tail end of her time in WWE, she did some big things. Won the China Memorial Battle Royal back at WrestleMania. Almost defeated Becky Lynch for the WWE Women's Championship. And maybe kind of felt that her coming to WCW would have maybe elicited a much bigger deal, a much bigger response from WCW. And Heat Seeker DDT from Naomi goes for the cover, and Bayley makes the save. Naomi, who's still looking for her first championship here in the open mic universe. Bayley, a former multiple-time WWE Women's Champion. Jade on her first reign as a champion here in the universe. Now Naomi with a bat. Bayley to belly, hooks the leg. And Naomi kicks out at 2. Now going over to Jade, but Jade rolls out of the way. Gets Bayley up. Jaded rolls Bayley over, goes for the cover, but Naomi stops the count and makes the save. And now Jade with a clothesline. Naomi on the outside. It is down to Jade and Naomi in the ring. Bayley now starting to move. Now Bayley back in there. Got that back and cracks it over the head of Jade Cargill. Rolls Jade over, hooks the leg. Naomi is down, and Jade kicks out at 2. Naomi accidentally taking the referee out. Rose plant, but there is no referee to make the count as she is down on the mat as well. Back elbow from Bayley. Naomi the first to her feet. Naomi slides out the back and takes out the leg, takes out the knee of Bayley as she rolls down to the floor. Jade stops Naomi from using that chair and goes for the cover. Bayley makes the save. Jade with a kip up. Get to the midsection and rear view from Naomi gets Jade back up, and now Naomi taken out at the knees by Bayley. Naomi rolls to the floor. Bayley hooks the leg. And Bayley shocks everyone as she is now the new WCW Women's Champion. And up until just a few days ago, she wasn't even supposed to be in this match. But she is your winner and your new WCW Women's Champion. Next, it's the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. One representative from WCW, one representative from WWE, and the winner, he gets a shot at his brand's world champion at next month's Summerslam. Out first, representing the WWE, Big Bronson Reed. Reed has been a natural disaster since coming over to WWE in this year's draft. His opponent, representing WCW, the current WCW television champion, LA Knight. We started with 16. We are now down to 2. Let's take one last look at the final King of the Ring bracket and how we got here to the finals at Bash at the Beach. The prize here tonight, not so much a title as more of a trophy. But for the winner, they will use that as their ticket to a World Championship match at SummerSlam, and Bronson Reed takes down the megastar. Reed, who, looking back over the course of this tournament, had a lot of close calls and maybe had a few occasions where it didn't look like he was going to advance round 1. CM Punk in the driver's seat virtually the entire match, right up until the very end, when Punk would make a very costly error that Bronson Reed would capitalize on, and that would help him advance to round number 2. In the second round, the quarterfinal round, he was matched up against Oba Femi, and thanks to some interference from Logan Paul, that allowed Bronson Reed to get the 1-2-3 and advance to the semifinals, where he matched up against maybe the favorite based on how round 1 went down. Gunther, who defeated AJ Styles in the first round, was set to take on the winner of the first round match between Jey Uso and Braun Breaker. That match, as we know, ended in a double countout, and because of that, Gunther had a bye in round 2, and he didn't have to wrestle again until the semifinal round, which is where he met up with Big Bronson Reed. And that one, Gunther kind of looked like he was on his way to the finals before Bronson would eventually pick up the win and move on here to the finals. For LA Knight, he had kind of a close call in round 1. He matched up with Javon Evans, and The young OG gave the megastar a run for his money. It could have very easily have been the one to come away with the win, but LA Knight gets the win. Round number 2. Maybe the toughest single matchup that we saw in any of the rounds here in the tournament. LA Knight would have to take on the veteran, the Viper, Randy Orton. BFT from LA Knight goes for the cover. But Bronson Reed able to kick out at 2. Back to LA Knight's path to the finals. After getting past Randy Orton in the quarterfinals, he matched up with Penta in the semis. Bronson with a cover. Knight kicks out at 1. LA Knight would get past Penta, and that was what got him here to the finals, and he is a victory away. Both of these guys a victory away from meeting their brand's world champion at SummerSlam. Death Valley Driver from Reed, and now Reed making the climb. Tsunami, no! LA Knight able to get his knees up to block the tsunami. And that's huge for LA Knight as he's still in it. Big club to the back from Reed. Reed lifting Knight up, slamming him down. Wasteland. Again with the cover. Probably should hook the leg. And only gets a 2 as Knight kicks out. And now LA Knight using the ropes to get himself up. Bronson Reed is back on the attack. Running senton. For Bronson Reed, if he were to win here tonight, he would match up with either the current WWE World Champion Roman Reigns or possibly Kevin Owens if Kevin Owens can defeat the Tribal Chief tonight in our main event. Knight able to move out of the way. Lifts Bronson Reed up, air raid siren, both men down. Who will be the first to their feet? It's LA Knight. Gets Bronson Reed up. Lifts Reed up again. For a second, air raid siren. Now Reed needing the ropes to get back to his feet for LA Knight. I guess if he's the one who is victorious here and is our new king of the ring, we know Cody and R-Truth already scheduled for SummerSlam. Kick, no! LA Knight going for another BFT, but Bronson Reed blocks it and now has the megastar in a single leg crab, and LA Knight fighting with all he's got to try to stay in this one. And Reed breaks the hold. Gets LA Knight up again, lifts him up. And now a second Death Valley Driver. Reed making his way to the top again. He's up there. Tsunami connects this time, hooks the leg. And big Bronson Reed, he is your new king of the ring. And he will head to SummerSlam next month and challenge either Roman Reigns or Kevin Owens for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This next one is a first in the open mic universe. A beach brawl. Essentially, there are no rules. To win the match, you either need to pin, submit, or knock out your opponent. Jey Uso and Braun Breaker crossed paths just a few weeks ago in round 1 of the King of the Ring tournament. That match would end in a double countout. But that's not what got us here. Just last week on SmackDown, our cameras caught Braun Breaker viciously attacking Jey Uso out in the parking lot. Thankfully for Jey, he didn't sustain any long-term injuries. Here tonight at Bash at the Beach, where anything goes, Jey will look to extract his own pound of flesh and get a little bit of payback. Jey Uso's ready. Braun Breaker's ready. Here we go. And Jey gets Braun up and sends Braun Breaker down to the floor. Jey now down there to join him. Jey going. What's he got? One of the ring steps, one of those steel ring steps, and slams it down on Breaker. Jey clearing off an announce table. And now sends Breaker into it. And now lifting his body on top of the announce table. Jey now back in the ring, going up top. Uso splash through the announce table. Whoa, unbelievable. I don't even know if Braun Breaker even knows where he is right now as he's sent back into the ring. You had to know that Jey was going to come and bring it here, and he goes for a cover. It only gets a one. Braun Breaker may have kicked a hornet's nest, and now he is about to get stung, but Braun blocks the kick. And somehow, Braun Breaker still in this thing. Misses. And now Jey back in control. Sends Breaker into the ropes. Super kick from Jey. Both men now down to the floor. Jey has pulled a bag of something out from under the ring. Thumbtacks. He has just dumped a bag of thumbtacks down on the mat. Breaker now with a pin attempt. Reversal from Jey. Only gets a one. Now Jey in the corner. Connects with a super kick. Now Jey's got that stop sign that Breaker brought into the ring. And now Uso back to the outside again. Going back under the ring. And now has retrieved a second bag, we assume, of thumbtacks. And they are, as he sprinkles them around the ring. Sends Braun into the ropes. Spear. Breaker's back, landing on those thumbtacks that have been spread all over the ring canvas by Jey Uso. Jey now going up top. Braun trying to pick those thumbtacks out of his skin. Elbow off the top rope. Jey back down to the floor. Don't tell me he's going for more thumbtacks. That'd be overkill at this point. 2 sacks of thumbtacks, and he does. If 2 was good, Jey thinking 3 is better. And he dumps that bag out. And Breaker sending Jey into the thumbtacks. Jey kick to the head. Uso going up top again. Uso splash down onto the thumbtacks as Braun moves out of the way. Breaker getting Jey up. Avalanche Frankensteiner into the thumbtacks. Now Braun with the stop sign. rolls Jay over. Jay somehow kicking out at 1. Breaker with a spear. Hooks the leg. And Braun Breaker, after going to and through thumbtacks more than once, does the same to Jey Uso. And Braun now has a date with the trainer in the back to try to remove all the thumbtacks that are in his back and in his arms and probably his legs. But Braun Breaker, your winner here against Jey Uso in the Beach Brawl. A feud that began between Drew McIntyre and Jimmy Uso saw Trick Williams first benefit from that very feud, then become a pawn, and then ultimately a victim of that feud. Here tonight at Bash at the Beach, Trick gets his hands in a shot at Drew McIntyre and the WCW United States Championship. Let's go back and see how this whole thing started. We got to go back to the Money in the Bank qualifying match between Trick Williams and Jimmy Uso. Drew McIntyre would jump Jimmy from behind as he made his way down to the ring for that match. In the end, Trick Williams would win that qualifying match and punch his ticket to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Fast forward to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso. In the middle of that match, Trick Williams' music would hit, and that would take the Scottish Psychopath's attention away from Jimmy, and that would allow Jimmy Uso to capitalize on that distraction, and he would pick up the win. That did not sit well with Drew McIntyre, who now felt he had a bone to pick with Trick Williams. Later in the night, he would find him backstage and deliver an epic beatdown ahead of the Money in the Bank ladder match. Trick, who did not win that match, he felt that if McIntyre hadn't attacked him, he would have been on his way to winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. And he blamed Drew for costing him that opportunity. We did find out not long after Money in the Bank that Trick had absolutely nothing to do with his music being played. It was actually Jimmy who had the production crew play Trick's music. By that point, the damage was already done, but here tonight, Trick gets his shot at the WCW United States Championship, and Jimmy Uso on his way out. He kind of feels that he and Trick are even. Trick didn't exactly see it that way, and Trick does not look happy to see Jimmy out here. As they have words, Jimmy, he's going to take a seat and watch this one play out here. Referee's going to let it slide. He's going to let Jimmy stay out here. Here we go. Trick with the early advantage. While Jimmy did not appreciate missing out on his chance to compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match, he's a veteran. He knows when you've got opportunities in front of you. It wasn't like Trick had anything to do with the attack. He just took advantage of a Jimmy Uso that was not 100%, and Jimmy got it. He understood it. Hey, you got to jump on opportunities when they're right in front of you. But also, Trick kind of not understanding that because Jimmy is a veteran and he has been around for a long time, sometimes you've got to take some of those veteran advantages, and one of them is Jimmy knows all the production guys in both WWE and WCW. He got one of them to help him out by playing Trick's music, and it helped Jimmy. Jimmy won the match. Obviously, the United States Championship was not on the line. Drew up on the second turnbuckle, not aware that Trick's back in the ring, but Drew still in the driver's seat. And hey, United States Championship wasn't on the line at Money in the Bank, but Jimmy did get a little bit of revenge, did get a little bit of payback against the Scottish Psychopath. And maybe Jimmy's out here to make sure that Drew doesn't try to do anything that might screw over Trick. Clothesline. Trick with the cover. And Drew kicks out. And now Trick rubbing Drew's face into the canvas. Going up to the second rope. He wants Drew up on his feet. Double axe handle down on the head of the Scottish Psychopath. And now Trick dribbling Drew's head off the mat. And now these two trading blows. McIntyre clotheslines Trick down to the floor. And now Drew having some words for Jimmy. Now Drew back to talk some more. And Trick back to his feet, but Drew ends up sending Trick into Jimmy Uso. I get the feeling that's not what Jimmy had in mind when he came out here to ringside. And now Drew with some ground and pound on the head of Trick Williams, goes for the cover. Only gets a 1. Now Trick slowly getting back to his feet. Drew lifting him up on his shoulders. And then dropping him face first down on the top turnbuckle. The momentum in this one has definitely swung in the Scottish Psychopath's favor. Shoulder tackle. What is Drew gonna do here? Kick to the midsection. Future shock. Hooks the leg. And Drew McIntyre, maybe accidentally, thanks to Jimmy Uso, he's going to retain here, and he is still your WCW United States Champion. It's the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley. If Becky is victorious here tonight, she will meet Asuka for the WWE Women's Championship at Summerslam. And for Rhea Ripley, if she is victorious, she will be taking on the new WCW Women's Champion, Bayley. Bayley with a shocking victory earlier tonight in that triple threat match. Both Becky and Asuka, former women's champions. Becky most recently the former WWE Women's Champion, losing it to Asuka back at Money in the Bank. Let's take a look at the final Queen of the Ring bracket for Becky. She defeated Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, and Jordynne Grace to make it to the finals. Rhea Ripley defeating Sol Ruca, Alexa Bliss, and Liv Morgan to punch her ticket here to the finals. Both women look ready, and here we go. Becky with a crucifix pin attempt here. That is not uncommon to see Becky try to catch her opponent off guard right off the bat. We saw it in round 1, where she may have been the fastest finish we've ever seen here in the open mic universe. And she defeated Charlotte with an armbar right after the bell. We know she's on a mission. She wants Asuka. She wants an opportunity to get her WWE Women's Championship back. But But for Rhea Ripley, the desire to get her hands back on some gold just as strong. Rhea with a cover. Only gets a count of 1. Good to see referee Jessica Carr here tonight calling this one. We saw just this week on SmackDown, she was on the wrong side of a collision between Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa. She went down, and she was down for a little bit. But good to see that she didn't sustain any sort of serious injury. She's here to call this finals with the Queen of the Ring here tonight at Bash at the Beach. I gotta admit, we saw some great action in both of these tournaments, both the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments this year. Last year we did it during the Great American Bash Tour. Both tournaments taking place in one night. This was spread out over the course of a month. Becky misses with the leg drop off the top rope headbutt from Rhea. And Rhea with the razor's edge, and then a boot to the face of Becky Lynch. Becky slow to her feet, kick to the midsection. Riptide. Rhea with the cover. And Rhea Ripley has done it. She is this year's Queen of the Ring. And she is headed to Summerslam, where she will take on new WCW Women's Champion, Bayley. Congratulations, Rhea Ripley. We have reached the main event here at Bash at the Beach, and this one is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The challenger, one half of the current WWE Tag Team Champions, Kevin Owens, and he is accompanied to the ring here tonight by his tag team partner and best friend, Sami Zayn. And the champion, the OTC, Roman Reigns. And Roman accompanied by Solo Sikoa. As Roman makes his way to the ring, I want to shout out Michael Felder. Michael left us some comments as he was going through the Year 4 playlist to get caught up on the universe. He left us some comments. If you would like to get shouted out in a future video, all you got to do is be like Michael. Leave a comment on a video like this one that you're watching, Bash at the Beach, and who knows, maybe you'll get shouted out in a future episode. And while we're at it, if you are here for the first time, welcome to the Open Mic Network. We are in Year 4 of our universe. If you're liking Bash at the Beach, please hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and if you're watching in the YouTube app, hype up the video. Use those hype points that they give you. It'll really help us out. We're glad to have you here. We have made it to the end. And we know that the winner of this one already has their SummerSlam opponent already locked in. It's going to be the new King of the Ring, Bronson Reed. Will it be Kevin Owens? Will it be Roman Reigns? We are about to find out. Here we go. Referee Dan Engler calling the action. Headbutt from Roman Reigns, and KO now able to turn the tide in his direction, but Roman with a kick to the head. He is back in control. One thing we've seen from Kevin Owens over these last few months, a lot of complaining, and a lot of those complaints, a lot of those grievances center around Roman Reigns, center around the bloodline. Now he kind of feels that maybe those guys get some preferential treatment Maybe they get some opportunities that other guys don't get. Maybe he's not wrong. Obviously, we know the history of the Bloodline. We had the Bloodline War that took place at WrestleMania 3 between The Rock and his version of the Bloodline, Roman and his version of the Bloodline. For Roman to become victorious, he had to kind of go outside the blood of the Bloodline. He had to bring in some other brothers of his. Seth Rollins, we saw the return of Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley. Unfortunately for Roman, opening that door to Mox. Came back to bite him back at Backlash, and then he needed a little help from Seth Rollins to finally get rid of Mox at In Your House. These two now fighting on the outside. KO leaning up against that LED board. And now both men on top of the barricade. Roman going to lift KO up, but no. Kevin Owens able to save himself. We're at a count of 8. KO back in the ring. Roman headed back as well. And Roman sending KO, no. Whipped into the ropes. Sammy grabbing Roman's leg. And now Solo up on the apron. And referee Dan Engler has seen enough. He has sent both Solo and Sami Zayn back to the locker room. He is going to get this thing under control and maintain some order. Superman punch from Roman Reigns. Gets Owens up. Sends him into the ropes. Spear! And Roman with the cover. Roman Reigns is going to retain. And he is still your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And here comes Bronson Reed. These two will meet for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Thanks for watching Bash at the Beach.